Welcome to the Alphagenix Podcast, where every week we speak to incredible individuals from the world of health, well-being, longevity, and biohacking. And today I'm delighted to be welcomed by Lorahn von Liebenstein from the Netherlands originally, but now on the beautiful island of Ibiza. We've known each other for a few years, and I'm really looking forward to delving into today's conversation. Lorahn, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's really an honor, and I've been looking forward to this conversation already for a month. We had to postpone certain things, but I'm super grateful and super happy that we're having this beautiful moment now. So thank you for that.
No problem. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. So it must be because today was the right day to have this conversation.
Apparently.
Yeah, the world works in mysterious ways. So probably a great place to start is at the beginning. So you're a psychologist from trained in the Netherlands. Be great to understand a little bit more about what drew you to that, and then I guess what led you down this path, because how we were introduced to each other was to do with your work with plant medicine, and in particular psilocybin, which is a fascinating area of medicine and health. So over to you. Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
Well, before we start at the beginning, I want to invite you and also the viewer, the listener who is listening right now, to start together with me, with you in harmony. And when we harmonize through a beautiful, simple mantra, the Om mantra, then beautiful things can happen. And I think you, Ross, you know this from my ceremonies, that we always start and we end with this simple but therefore very powerful mantra, the Om mantra. And I really would like to invite you, but also the one who is watching right now, to already go beyond fear and beyond shame and dive into this beautiful mantra. With a little help of this small box from India, a fruity box, which will produce a beautiful vibration from which we can start. So I would like to invite you to close your eyes, and I will do the same. And then we start together with 3 ohms that reminds us of that beautiful Big Bang, that moment that we were all closely connected. Here we go.
That is the first time we've ever started with a shruti box.
Everything for a reason, right? Yeah, I think this is always whenever I go out to a festival or whenever we start at Ibiza Conscious Club with dancing or with a ceremony, it's just such a beautiful way to start everything. You can feel the difference already before and after. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful way to start.
It lifts your mood, like the vibration. You can like feel it inside you. Definitely.
We are all energy with a beautiful vibration. And once we start vibrating on the same wavelength, then just magic can happen. So
Yeah,
thank you for
couldn't
being
agree more.
open to that.
Absolutely no problem at all. So, how did all of this start? Clearly, you didn't go to school as Lorahn in Holland and start owning. So, where did it start? And where are you now?
Um, so my fascination with behavior, which started in biology class in high school, I was just really fascinated about living animals and why they did the things they do. Um, I did a profile that was mainly focused on nature and health, and I didn't want to go into medicine because I just had a very big fear of blood, of cutting things open and seeing guts, and I had this I don't know, this sensation, and that it wasn't for me. So what was my past? That was the question I was asking myself. And from there, it led me to biomedical sciences. So the first year in university, I started with biomedical sciences, which was a very beautiful study. I learned a lot about the molecular structures, the biochemistry of our body, of our brain. But there was one thing that I was missing. I was doing a lot of lab research, working with pipettes, working in the lab with a lab coat on, a white lab coat. And for me, just something was missing because these small glass tubes, they don't talk back. You know, in this lab, it's just this. I don't know. You're so disconnected from life in my experience, and I just missed this physical human connection. And that's when I decided at the end of the year, when I had almost well, all my courses and my points, I decided to switch to psychology because I just loved human behavior. I loved human evolution. Why have we become the beautiful human being that we are at this moment? Um, and I just was not driven by money or anything else, because I had an uncle who said, Laurent, go into economics, then you're always good and you will have a good job and you'll be safe. And this is also, what I think a lot of people, or people who are concerned about you, tell you, that go for the safe route, because they actually care about you, and they want you to become happy and to have a safe income. Well, I did not go for that. I thought, okay, let's go for psychology. Let's just follow my heart, and let's see where it takes me. I have no idea. And the first year already was just fascinated by all the things that I've learned, from social psychology to work psychology, and the way how to gain knowledge through science, to gathering data, the way how to think critically. It was just, for me, I was walking around the university, the Free University in Amsterdam, as a young student, and I can still remember this moment that I was walking up there thinking, wow, all this knowledge here, all these books, all these super interesting brains, let me download them. I was just inspired by all this knowledge, and I had also some tough moments. Maybe you can remember the tough moments, being a student, that you are totally done. You think, why I have to keep learning about all these exams, and I have to make them, have to studying 10 days in a row in this library, and I was sleeping on my books, doing these small power naps, which actually are very effective. Just 10-15 minutes power naps on your book. I can recommend this to anyone. Like every 1 or 2 hours, just a small power nap, to get those, brain chemicals, get them back in line again, really works magic. Um, from there, I started developing the skills to become a psychologist. But I never felt the direct call to work in the clinical field, because at that moment I was also drawn to other things, economic and consumer psychology at that moment. So I finished social psychology, then I finished economic and consumer psychology, my master's. And actually, then when I started working with people in my online meditation school, that's actually when I developed this passion for helping other people and helping them through meditation. So it's kind of a beautiful but weird road.
Yeah, I love that. What was it about meditation that kind of drew you to that? Because was that covered at university, or was that something that happened outside?
No, they should. I mean, it is actually so strange that these beautiful techniques and the wisdom that comes, ancient wisdom that comes from meditation, that we do not teach this at universities.
Mm,
And for me, it was just a feeling. I think 15 years ago, when I was in my third year of my studies, with my former girlfriend, I went for the first time to Asia, to Thailand, and I just had this feeling inside of me. I had never meditated at that moment, but I knew in Asia I'm going to meditate. I'm going. The seed was already planted. So I went to the bookstore in Amsterdam and I said, "Where is the section about spirituality and meditation? Please take me there." And just the first book that I got in my hand was a book from the late um, Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, who passed away a year ago. May his soul rest in peace. And it was a book about mindfulness. And this book was my first spiritual book, actually, about mindfulness, about meditation, about breath work. I took this with me in my suitcase to Thailand. And there on the beach, it was a private beach in Koh Phangan, I just sat down under this beautiful tree, this palm tree, and I just sat down in silence, doing absolutely nothing. And there just something happened inside of me. I don't know what it was. It was just the silence, the feeling of being connected with everything and just being in pure silence. That's where my love for meditation started. And there in Thailand, I started going to meditation courses in the Netherlands, at the Sri Chinmoy Center. I was really inspired by one of my teachers, Abhinaba, who shared his beautiful mantras and deep meditation work with me. And from there, I also started sharing meditation and combining that with psychology with my clients at my online meditation school. Um, yeah, so there the seed was born.
amazing. And one of the questions you pops up all the time about meditation is when someone can't stop their brain working. Like, is meditation is the goal to have a completely quiet mind, or is it to acknowledge what is coming up and then use it or park it to one side? Like, what do you teach your students?
Well, I think the best way to understand, if we look at meditation, it has no goal. And meditation is the root of medication. Meditation comes from medication, but meditation in itself is having no mind, trying not to connect with your thoughts, but just letting them be and finding this pure peace in silence. And for many people nowadays, this is very, very tough. Because the original meditation techniques, the Buddhist, Taoist meditation techniques, for instance, Zazen, just sitting in silence, they were designed many thousands of years ago for people in a completely different environment. They were living in a rural environment. They were living in a completely different world with no cell phones, no social media, no city life that is so overwhelmed with stimuli. I mean, even if you walk in the forest, just see how you feel. And if you compare that to if you walk into a city, for instance, I was for work, I was going back to teach a meditation class and do an ecstatic dance at a festival in the Netherlands 1 week ago. And the moment I got into Amsterdam, I was already overwhelmed by the amount of information that got to me. All the faces that you would see when you're walking down the street. Your brain is making constant calculations. What type of person is this? Where is he from? Which stereotype does he fits in? And this is actually what is draining us.
Yeah.
So my at this moment, my guru is Osho. He's not alive anymore. It's a master, I would say, but not in the body. And he designed a technique which I believe is very, very relevant for our age, for our people, and that is dynamic meditation. And dynamic meditation is all about working with your body and releasing emotions to create a state of no mind, where actually the mind is not functioning and working anymore. And in this moment, when we create no mind, this is where the meditation actually happens. And this is where we connect with the oneness of the universe. This is actually where we connect with our true essence when our mind actually is not working. So we have no mind. And this is what I believe is meditation is all about, is to get you out of your mind. And there are many ways to get out of your mind. And we're also going to talk about one in this case, in this podcast. There are many routes that can take you to the truth, that can take you out of your mind. You know, you can take drugs, they can take you to this beautiful euphoria, but it won't last long. What goes up must come down. Psilocybin is a medicine that can take you also out of your mind. It can heal you, it can give you insights, but it can get you out of your mind. For me personally, we have medicine, but meditation is the ultimate goal of really having this experience of pure bliss, of no mind. And medicine is a way towards meditation for me.
And where does this meditation towards no mind, does that have to be in silence? Where does sort of ecstatic dance sit on that, on that scale, if you like?
Well, just to get back, for instance, to dynamic meditation, it consists of 5 phases. The first phase is chaotic breathing, where you loosen the patterns of your mind. The second phase is catharsis, where you are screaming and shouting and letting everything go out, everything that you feel inside you. If you want to scream, shout, you go all into it. The third phase, a who mantra, where you stomp your feet on the ground. And then when you are like completely exhausted, boom, you get into silence. So from a 30 to 40 minute of very active process, you get into silence, and that is the point of meditation. So meditation is always the point of complete silence. But on the other hand, everything you do, even if you wash the dishes with complete awareness, with complete attention, even if you walk down the street with fully being aware of every step that you take, that can also be a meditation.
Yeah, I love that. I love that mindful walking. Where I live in the Northumberland countryside, if I go for a walk, but there's so many different types of green, that you can be aware of, and you can see wind rustling through the trees and all the little animals that are wonderfully going around doing their thing. Like, it's very easy just to walk by and just think I'm going for a walk. The purpose is the walk, rather than actually taking it all in. It's incredible how you can go on a 20-minute walk and come back invigorated from being so focused on those little things.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge nowadays is that here it goes already, that we are actually constantly wearing a device with us. I mean, we're actually almost incorporated with a piece of technology. It's already close to our body constantly. And actually, when you look at it, that other people have constantly access to you, and this phone is constantly disturbing you. If you are focused on a beautiful tree, your mother sends you a WhatsApp. Hey, don't forget our appointment tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And we are constantly being disturbed in actually beautiful moments that we are contemplating or looking at the world in a with full awareness. So actually this device is one of the biggest, I wouldn't say enemies, but um, distractions. Yeah, the source of distraction, of actually getting you away from contemplation and beautiful moments in nature, when you can fully immerse and focus on the experience and in the moment itself.
Yeah, 100%. So what was it? So you went to university, started your own practice, started working with meditation. What happened from there to now? So at what point did you realize that perhaps plant medicine could form part of your journey and a part of the work you were doing with your clients?
Well, that started in the Netherlands. I had a close friend of mine called Sagawati. His real name is Rudy de Groot, and he has been on a journey with psychedelics for a very long time. Has a lot of knowledge, also growing it, and he inspired me to join one of his walks in nature with mushrooms. And there I already started to developing this love. We built a beautiful ceremony, and with a handpan, with mantras, we really created a sacred space in which we took the medicine. And there in the dunes of the Netherlands, that was actually my first experience, and it touched me so much. The way that I connected with nature, the way my vision changed. We were at this beautiful place, and also the way how I felt afterwards, the day after, I felt that I was rejuvenated in a way. That a lot of things that I had been piling up in my mind, that they were lightened, that I got rid of them. So this feeling, at that time, I didn't know what it was, but this reset of my brain, that's what I felt. Wow, this is something that I should share with the world, and not just sharing it by, hey, just take it and use it as a way of just tripping. But I from that moment directly, I felt the therapeutic effects, and I just felt a calling to share this with other people. From there, I was already making plans to move to Ibiza. My first arrival on Ibiza 7 years ago, I was still really enjoying the original or the old Ibiza club life, going to Amnesia, to Ricardo Villalobos and Richie Hawtin, taking synthetic medicine for bliss and euphoria. But I also felt when I came back 3 years ago that Ibiza was changing, and there was another way to reconnect with each other on the dance floor, and to connect with each other and celebrate life in a new and a different way. Here I experienced nature, real nature, Not, if you have a ceremony, for instance, in the city where someone invites you, a shaman or someone who hosts the ceremony, invites you to a place in a flat building on the eighth floor to experience ayahuasca or psilocybin or any other medicine. This is what I feel is not the right way. Here on Ibiza, we can really connect with nature, be fully immersed in nature with your bare feet on the ground, connecting with the soil, with the earth, smelling the herbs that are growing here, the fragrances, looking at the specific trees. And from there, I felt a calling to create our Sacred Cybin ceremony with beautiful beds in the middle of nature. Well, you've been a couple of times already, and I really was asking myself the question: how would a day, a journey, connecting with the medicine, with psilocybin, honoring Mother Nature, honoring the fruits of Mother Nature, um, how would the my most sublime journey look like? And then I said that would be on a beautiful white bed made with care, with attention, with beautiful flowers and crystals, with water, with nice organic sodas. That would be, for me, was the most sublime experience. And I thought, okay, let's create this and let's share it with people. And it was an immediate success. The people really resonated with it. And yeah, from there I host weekly ceremonies here in Ibiza on different places, but every one of them is completely immersed in nature.
Love that. And for me, yeah, it's definitely about that nature. Previous to meeting you, all my experiences with plant medicine or with indigenous tribes people in the Amazon or in Central America. But the one thing I always took away, other than a great sense of peace afterwards, was this connection with nature. And then you come back to like the fast-paced modern world, sucked into being driven towards various materialistic things, and you get sort of disconnected from nature. So when I was introduced to you via a friend a couple of years ago, I was like, okay, this feels right. You're not a shaman in the Amazon, but you felt drawn to come and work with you, and yeah, it was quite incredible.
Well, the thing is, just to dive into it from another perspective, if we look at where we come from as humans, we are still the humans fully that lived in nature, in the savannah or in the forest thousands of years ago. We still have the complete hardware for that. Now we are transitioning from this forest monkey or savannah monkey to the city monkey, with all the things that the city encompass: steel, concrete, transportation, hyper sociality. So with a lot of people in one place, but we have not adapted to this yet. And this is when we walk in nature, you feel that you are home. You feel that something calms you down, like, hey, this is because it feels good, because
Mhm.
it's actually your true essence. It's actually where you should be constantly, where you should be looking for berries, should be looking for fruits, hunting for fish in the water, looking at the creeks, the flowing water. This is what makes us happy, because it is our true nature. This is where we come from. We don't come from a city with glass buildings and skyscrapers and cars. This is we are totally disconnected from our true nature. So when we go back to these places, we naturally feel good. It's the same if you would put a fish on dry land. It will feel horrible. If you put it back in the water, it thinks, yes, this, I don't know, it feels good, but it is our true nature. So I think we have to, especially when you look at how the cities are built at this moment, it is completely done wrong. all the community structures. We are people, we feel good when we are surrounded by other people, when we live in communities, when we are surrounded by our friends and family, little tribes of 50 to 150 people. This is when we feel good, because it is, again, our true nature. But what has happened in our city where we live now? We all live inside small boxes, alone, with our own vacuum cleaners, our own machines, all closely, completely disconnected from the community. All the neighborhood centers, they do not serve their purpose anymore. People do not come together. Where's the fireplace in the street, in a city? Where can we come together around the fire and share stories and share songs? you know they are not there. It is not strange that people go to bars because they are connected there, and because they are so overwhelmed, they feel so shit, they feel so unlucky because of the city life, that they are putting alcohol to numb the pain. This is a symptom of an underlying pain, an underlying emptiness that is currently going on in the city, in the current city. And if you are living in a city, you might, and if you're watching this, you might feel this, that there's something is missing. If I look at Amsterdam, all the drugs and the alcohol that is being used there, in the city, it's all a way of escaping the pain that the city itself, the structure of the city, the way that it has been set up, is actually causing you to feel unhappy, to feel unwhole. And this is why you're taking so many drugs, so many alcohol, just to numb the pain. And it's not your fault. It's the fault of the people who designed the cities. And they don't know yet. But that's, I believe, why we are here, to create a new society, to create a new earth, a new world, where we are connected with nature, and we go back to this beautiful structure of the tribe again.
Yeah, I love that we're, as you say, becoming so disconnected. And we've mentioned this already, but this is, I think largely to blame there, because you can go out now, say you go out for dinner, and you'll see families sitting together, not talking to each other. They're just looking on their phone. Or you see friends in big groups, but all on their phone. And you're like, even though we're together, we're apart. And as you say, you've been larger communities. Many people, I guess, don't even know their neighbors, let alone talk to them. So, yeah, we as a species have been around for millennia and have always lived and existed a certain way, connected with nature and our community, our tribe. And in a very short space of time, 100 years, we've gone from that to this, which is so, so different. And as you say, I agree, we haven't evolved that fast. So we're still the same people, but thrust into a different world.
Yeah, we're not the city monkey yet. And
No.
I do not want to make an imagination how that would look like. I mean, they probably look like this pale, thin monkey on his laptop, being fed by this tube. But this is, I believe, not the way that humans should evolve. I mean, this is a choice. It is a choice. If you live in a city at this moment, and you don't feel well, you feel disconnected, you have a choice to live somewhere else, to go abroad. There is so much more to life than just the city or just your own country. Go see other places, go to faraway places where you have never been before. Live in different cities, or different, go to a rural environment, and just live there among the people. Taste life, real life, as it is. It is not city life. City life will destroy you in many ways. The competitive environment, look at New York, look at America. It is being eaten, from the inside out, by corporations, by the strive for ambition, the strive for success. And when I see, especially also Americans coming to Ibiza, they say, "Holy shit, I have been brainwashed by the American culture. Everybody's fighting there for survival, for ambition, and for what? For what? What is the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is just to be you, to be happy, and to find a place and the people that resonate with you, and just step out of the current environment that you're in at least once or twice a year, just to feel and experience life in a new way.
Yeah, that connection. So leads on to a good question then. So who comes to you? Who comes to work with yourself and Ibiza Conscious Club, and yeah, why?
If we so at the Ibiza Conscious Club we do two things. We do our club events, so ecstatic dances. Last Saturday we had our Danza de Sabina, which is a microdosing psilocybin dance, a sacred mushroom dance, where we connect in nature and we dance in nature in silence with the medicine, with a little microdose. And when people feel that they feel invited and feel a calling by Mother Nature, that they would love to experience the medicine in a more deeper way, then they are invited to our Sacred Cybin ceremony. And the people, I generally have actually three types of people that come. One is the people that really come for healing. So what the medicine does in beautiful and miraculous ways is that it brings all the emotions that you have been sweeping underneath the carpet. It brings them all up to the surface, makes you feel them again, and by feeling them, completely feeling through them, so that means tears or pain or agony, but just completely feeling through them, that is when the healing takes place. So I've been working with people with traumatic experiences, from childhood trauma to victims of rape, addiction, anxiety disorders, all kinds of traumatic experiences or disorders in this case. So that is the healing aspect of
Mm-hmm.
the mushroom. Uh, just to dive into it now, what the beauty of the psilocybin is that it shuts down certain serotonic pathways. And for instance, when we look at anxiety, for people with an anxiety disorder, they have very overactive receptors. So just imagine, if you are every day you feel anxious, you become being anxious becomes your nature, your second nature. It's just like when you every day you use this muscle every day. What happens? Your this bicep becomes stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, it becomes super easy to use. So with addiction, with anxiety, with depression, certain receptors in our brain are becoming overactive. And what this psilocybin does, it shuts down these overactive receptors and gives rise to new connections through neurogenesis, the creation of new neural pathways, new dendrites of the neurons. So this is the first part. People come for healing. Another part that people come for are the insights that the medicine is able to give you. And yeah, I would always love to share the story about the elephant and the seven blind men. I think you know them. Um, so if we want to see reality as it really is, we need to see reality from different perspectives. And the story of Buddha and the elephant and the seven blind men, in short, is that one day an elephant comes to a town, and there are seven blind men, and they have never ever seen an elephant before. So they are quite, nervous. They think, "Oh, an elephant? What is an elephant?" So they walk outside a bit cautious. And one of the blind men, grabs the elephant by the tail and he says, "I know what an elephant is. An elephant, it's like a curtain." The other blind man, who is holding the tusk, the tooth of the elephant, says, "I know, no, 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 no. I know what an elephant is. An elephant, it's like a spear." Another blind man having the nose, touching the nose of the elephant, says, "Oh, you both are wrong. An elephant, that's like a snake." The other one, holding the belly of the elephant, says, "No, an elephant, it's like a car." The other one, touching the humongous foot of the elephant, says, "You are all wrong. How can you be so wrong? An elephant is like a tree." And they start arguing about what an elephant is. Then a wise man passes and he says, "Dear blind man, stop arguing. You're actually all wrong. So you're actually all right," says the wise man. But you have to see reality from different perspectives. They were all just looking at a one side of the elephant. So what I truly believe is, if we want to see reality as it is, we have to see reality from different perspectives. And this is where psilocybin can really help. If you are stuck in a certain situation, whether it's work related to a relationship, or just stuck in life, it can be very, very helpful just to see your life from a different perspective, from a different angle. And from there, a new vision, a new sense of being can arise just by already looking at things from a different perspective. And this is what I believe, where meditation, in this case psilocybin, the beautiful medicine, come together and find each other, is that it is a way to come closer to the truth, to see life from all these different perspectives. And the more perspectives we have from life, the closer we can get to truth. The question is, do we ever know truth? Who knows?
Yeah.
But by seeing life from more perspectives, we can get more and more close. And this is what I truly believe. And then the other category, so this is the category for people that come for insight, is people that come for both healing and both insight.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my next question, and it's a really fascinating subject, isn't it? You went into some of the neurophysiology of it there, but back in I think it was the 60s, they were doing a lot of research on psychedelics and how it can heal depression, anxiety, trauma, PTSD. Well, it might not be called that then, and then it was all squashed. Like, no, we're not doing any research on that anymore. But recently it started to resurface, and there are some studies going on around the world now, which is great to see, and having incredible results where one session with psilocybin can mitigate the need for pharmaceutical medication for depression for 6 months or longer.
I really believe, brother, that we are at the beginning of a very beautiful era. I mean, the moment in the 60s when all these experiments, these beautiful experiments already being done with psychedelics, were actually put aside. That came because a few experiments on rats and how they interact with heroin, that popped up. And I believe it was the Reagan administration that started actually this war on drugs, because of these actually um, um, experiments that were not even complete. Maybe you have heard of these experiments. They put rats, they gave them heroin, and what happened is, it showed that when you give heroin to a rat, it will eventually take so much and it will die. It will commit suicide and it will take too much. This created a lot of fear in the governmental structure. But the thing is that the whole experiment was actually not set up in the right way, because I think 10 years ago, they set up the same experiment, but now not with rats being alone in their environment, but as a community, as a society. And what happened there was completely different. So the rats just started using these drugs like heroin just only a little bit for fun and recreational purposes. And when they saw some of the rats that were actually, on their way of addiction, they saw that other rats are starting to help them, and started to become part of a society where they were actually caring for each other. So in the first experiment that happened in the 60s, it was one rat being completely lonely, and because of his loneliness, it started abusing, in this case, the drug and the heroin, and killing himself. But when you look at the bigger picture, and this is what we are. I mean, we are not rats living alone in a cage. We are part of something bigger, of society. So the conclusions that were drawn from this research on heroin in the 60s, those were actually the fundamentals for the complete government vision on how to deal with drugs. And it was actually not, they did not understand the complete picture. And I'm super happy that we are now living in times. If you look on Netflix, the openness about psilocybin and other different chemicals that can help us, that can heal us, medicine. Yeah, we are starting to open up to that. And yeah, I'm a big fan of psilocybin because it's organic and it's natural.
Mm. Yeah, 100%. And I think, as you say, we are on the sort of the dawn of a new era, with more and more research being done on these compounds and plants. I think it will be used more and more ubiquitously over the next decade or so, until it's just commonplace. The same as cannabis is now legal in many places to be used medicinally. I think psilocybin will be the same, given another 5, 10, 15 years, however long it's going to take.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in exciting times. I mean, all the research is showing very strong evidence of the healing properties, but it's also very delicate. I mean, one research that maybe goes wrong, and governments are becoming frightened again. But we are that. Therefore, I'm just super happy that it's being done in a very delicate, slow step. And yeah, we are getting there. And our connection in this case with mushrooms is as old as our transition from monkeys that were starting living and walking upwards. It's the moment where we started getting out of the jungle into the savannah, finding these beautiful big turds, these beautiful elephant poo and other poo where these mushrooms were growing out. Yeah, of course, you try to eat them, and then it helps you, it heals you, you feel good the day afterwards. It enhances your vision. The theory that they think that our brain has grown in this way because of mushrooms.
Yeah, well, we know it causes neuroplasticity, it causes neurogenesis. So it's not such a vast leap to imagine that it was involved in our evolution, I guess.
Yeah. Stoned ape theory. It's actually not a theory, but it's a more like a hypothesis. But that's the stoned ape hypothesis.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, I've absolutely loved our conversation. I always do. Love your energy, love everything about you. If anyone is watching this, they want to get in touch, how do they find you?
So we have our beautiful flowering community of Ibiza Conscious Club on Telegram, with over 2,500 beautiful brothers and sisters, conscious brothers and sisters. So on Telegram, the link I think will be put here in the description. Download Telegram. Forget WhatsApp. Telegram will be the new app for the upcoming 20 years. Furthermore, I share most of my invitations and share stuff also about psilocybin on my Instagram, which can also be shared below. The Ibiza Conscious Club Instagram. And if you come to Ibiza and you feel the calling to connect with Mother Nature, feel free to send me a personal message, and I would love to connect with you in a call to see which gift Mother Nature has in store for you and how it can help you heal and help you grow.
Lorahn, my brother, absolutely loved it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon.
You too, brother. I would love to close this together with a beautiful bell just in silence, with one Om. Now let's do 3 Ohms, and we end with a bell. How about that, brother?
Let's do it.
Okay.